Rejected by the US in 2024, Boeing is now fighting back abroad with Australia's MQ-28 Ghostbat. In 2026, Japan signed on, not to co-develop, but to learn. Exactly the endorsement Boeing wanted. Increment 2 is the real prize. With allies in Australia, Japan, and Germany, Boeing's Ghostbat is ready to strike back.
In late April 2024, the United States Air Force delivered a significant setback to Boeing when it announced the winners for its Collaborative Combat Aircraft Increment 1 program. The contracts went to Anduril Industries with its MQ-28A Fury and General Atomics with its MQ-42A, while Boeing was notably absent from the selection. Boeing, however, had not offered the MQ-28 Ghostbat for this competition. The company stated explicitly that it proposed another proprietary solution tailored to the U.S. Air Force's unique CCA Phase 1 requirements and did not pitch the MQ-28 Ghostbat or the MQ-25 Stingray. This distinction is crucial. The Ghostbat itself was never formally submitted for Increment 1. The company was left to issue a carefully worded statement expressing disappointment while vowing to continue its work on autonomous systems. Behind the corporate diplomacy, however, a quiet but determined pivot was already taking shape. The reasons for Boeing's defeat were rooted in the specific philosophy driving Increment 1, which prioritized affordable mass over sophistication. The USAF had targeted a unit cost of around $30 million, with officials suggesting they wanted to drive the price down substantially for future increments. The Ghostbat, with its advanced stealth shaping, long-range capabilities, and years of Australian research and development, represented a more capable but more expensive platform that did not fit the attritable model the service was seeking for its first production CCA. The selection of Anduril and General Atomics signaled a deliberate U.S. effort to disrupt the traditional dominance of prime contractors like Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and Northrop Grumman, sending a clear message that the old rules of defense procurement no longer applied. For Boeing, losing with a proprietary design while its most mature autonomous platform remained on the sidelines was a double blow that forced a fundamental rethinking of its global strategy. While Boeing was absorbing the shock of its American defeat, the MQ-28 Ghostbat was quietly becoming one of the most successful CCA programs in the world. The Royal Australian Air Force had been pushing the platform through an aggressive testing regimen since its first flight in February 2021, accumulating over 100 hours of flight testing and 20,000 hours of testing in the digital environment by October 2024. In December 2025, the program achieved a major milestone when an MQ-28 successfully conducted a live-fire engagement, launching an AIM-120 AMRAAM missile against a target based on targeting data from an E-7A Wedgetail and an FA-18F Super Hornet. The Australian government backed this progress with significant financial commitment, approving $1.4 billion in December 2025 for the acquisition of Block 2 aircraft and the continued development of the platform. The Ghostbat was developed with the Five Eyes export market firmly in mind, making it attractive not just to Australia, but to allied nations seeking a mature CCA solution. The platform's evolution continued with the unveiling of enhanced capabilities in June 2026. The Block 3 configuration features a 25% increase in wingspan, allowing the aircraft to carry an additional 2,000 pounds of fuel, stores, and mission payloads. According to Boeing's MQ-28 Global Program Director Glenn Ferguson, the Ghostbat can be equipped with 2 AMRAAM missiles or 4 small-diameter bombs internally. Additional enhancements include beyond line-of-sight communications, software upgrades compliant with open architecture standards, and a redesigned modular nose section for simplified payload integration. These upgrades, developed in partnership with the Royal Australian Air Force, will be progressively released through a spiral upgrade program and are available to interested allied countries. The platform's maturity makes the MQ-28 one of the most operationally advanced CCA programs globally. On April 18, 2026, Australia and Japan signed an implementing arrangement in Melbourne that allowed Japanese Air Self-Defense Force personnel to participate in flight testing and training activities with the Ghostbat in Australia through March 2027. The agreement, signed by Australian Defence Minister Richard Marles and Japanese Defence Minister Koizumi Shinjiro, marked the first time Japan had joined an international CCA program in an operational capacity. However, the scope of this arrangement is carefully constrained and does not constitute a trilateral development or funding program. The agreement explicitly excludes any transfer of sensitive technology, any joint funding, or any co-development of the platform itself, and has been designed to comply with Japan's existing 3 principles on defense transfers. Japanese personnel are able to observe and participate in mission planning, sensor fusion exercises, and manned-unmanned teaming operations, but they do not gain access to proprietary software or the core autonomous algorithms. Despite these limitations, the Australia-Japan agreement represents a strategic victory for Boeing that extends far beyond the immediate operational benefits. By having the Japan Air Self-Defense Force actively engaged in Ghostbat training, Boeing can demonstrate to the U.S. Air Force that its platform has genuine international appeal and is compatible with the operational doctrine of America's most important Indo-Pacific allies. The involvement of Japan validates the Ghostbat's open architecture, showing that it can integrate with diverse air forces without requiring extensive customization or compromising sensitive national technologies. For Boeing, this is an argument that the MQ-28 is ready for coalition warfare today, not just in theory, but in practice. The timing of the Japanese involvement also aligns with the U.S. Air Force's growing interest in international collaboration for the CCA Increment 2 program, where officials have noted that partnerships with allied nations could be a valuable factor in the selection process. Boeing has not limited its international strategy to the Asia-Pacific, recognizing that building a broader coalition of users will strengthen its case for the MQ-28 on multiple fronts. In March 2026, Boeing and German defense giant Rheinmetall announced a strategic partnership to jointly market the MQ-28 Ghostbat for the German Air Force's future CCA requirements, targeting an initial operational capability by 2029. Under the agreement, Rheinmetall will act as system manager for the MQ-28 in Germany, handling customer-specific modifications, operational support, and maintenance directly within the country. The partnership was further expanded at the ILA Berlin Air Show in June 2026, with Diehl Defence and Roda Schwarz joining the German industry team. Diehl Defence will explore weapons integration, including German-produced munitions, while Roda Schwarz will contribute to mission and communications systems integration. Boeing Defence Australia's Vice President Amy List emphasized that the team is bringing together the best of Australian and German innovation to be able to deliver the MQ-28 to the Luftwaffe by 2029. However, the German market is not a guaranteed victory for Boeing. as the Ghostbat faces direct competition from other serious contenders. Airbus has partnered with Kratos to offer the MQ-28A Valkyrie, which is preparing for test flights in Germany, while the German startup Helsing has teamed with Grobe to develop the CA-1 Europa as a domestic alternative. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius has explicitly stated that multiple options remain under consideration and that no final decision has been made. The competitive dynamics are further complicated by Rheinmetall's parallel partnerships. The company previously held talks with Lockheed Martin for CCA cooperation and separately partnered with Anduril for a European version of the YFQ-44 Fury. General Atomics also has industrial footprint plans in Germany near Munich for its YFQ-42A, meaning the same competitors that defeated Boeing in Increment 1 are now pursuing the same European market. This multi-front competition means Boeing must fight not only to win back American favor, but also to secure its position in a contested German market where it is one of several capable bidders. The CCA Increment 2 program represents Boeing's global strategy, and the company has positioned itself carefully to exploit the emerging opportunities in this next phase of the competition. Unlike Increment 1, which was narrowly focused on affordable mass production, Increment 2 is expected to have more flexible requirements that could include enhanced survivability, longer range, and greater payload capacity. These are precisely the characteristics that the Block 3 Ghostbat has been designed to deliver, with its larger wing, internal weapons bay, and proven integration with advanced sensor networks. Boeing is expected to offer its MQ-28 Ghostbat for Increment 2, and the company has been actively positioning the platform as the most mature and combat-proven CCA solution available. The U.S. Air Force has also indicated that Increment 2 may involve a wider range of mission types beyond the pure air-to-air focus of the initial increment.
Crucially, the USAF has explicitly left the door open for international involvement in Increment 2, with officials noting that partnerships with allied nations could be a valuable factor in the selection process. Companies not selected for Increment 1 will still be able to bid for this phase, as well as for subsequent contracts. This is where Boeing's work with Australia, Japan, and Germany becomes strategically decisive, as the company can point to real-world operational cooperation that demonstrates the Ghostbat's interoperability and readiness. Boeing's global strategy, encompassing partnerships across 3 continents, transforms the Ghostbat from an Australian-specific project into a globally relevant CCA solution with a coalition of users that can collectively advocate for its adoption by the USAF. The defeat at home may ultimately prove to be the catalyst that forces Boeing to adopt a more global and collaborative approach, one that makes its platform more attractive to the U.S. military than it would have been as a purely domestic offering. By building a network of vested international interests, Boeing has positioned the Ghostbat not as a rejected also-ran, but as a coalition-ready solution whose time may finally come with Increment 2.